Hi, my name is Jeremy Watson. I'm the CEO of Bedrock Investment Property, and today I wanted to take a minute to explain 6 reasons why you should consider investing in real estate. Now, these aren't new reasons, and it's not a comprehensive list because that would take forever, but I did want to cover 6 things that are really good parts about owning real estate that you can really expect when you get into it. Number 1, appreciation. That's probably the biggest one. It's probably the best one because over the last 65 years, depending on the source that you look at, because everyone calls their data a little bit differently, everyone agrees that over the last 65 years, properties have appreciated about 5 to 6.5%. That's amazing. That means just on appreciation alone, not cash flow, not tax benefits, not deductions, not depreciation, just cash flow, not leveraged, but just cash on cash real estate investing over the last 6 decades, 6.5%. That's competitive with some of the best stock funds or some of the best indexes in the world in that same period. That's amazing. Number 2, leverage. Real estate's just about the only asset that you can go out and put down 20% and have a bank come in and loan 80%. It's just about the only asset that works like that. Now, you can buy stocks on margin if you're worth millions because they know they can get to your other assets if it all goes bad. But anyone, just about anyone, can walk in off the street to a bank and say, hey, I want to put down $40,000 and buy a property that's worth $200,000, and the bank will lend all the rest and let you keep 100% of the appreciation. If you're talking about appreciation historically at 5%, and the bank's lending 4/5 of that amount, the numbers can go through the roof on a leveraged appreciation position. That's how people really have made millions in real estate. They let the bank take most of the risks, and they get all the reward. Number 3, cash flow. I have seen $100 million businesses built specifically off of selling products that no way, no how will have any return for at least 5, 6, 7 years. There's a lot of products out there in financial services that are very front-loaded with their fee structures. And we know that those products are going to take a long time to come off of the ground. What I love about real estate the most, I'm not an appreciation guy, even though that's probably the best part. The best part I love about real estate personally is cash flow. You can buy a piece of real estate, get a property manager, get a tenant into it 30 to 45 days, right? And be earning money off of your investment immediately. Now, the old timers, they've done a lot of things right. They've done a lot of things wrong. But on real estate, I think they had a fundamental understanding of how investment should work. When you make an investment, you should receive money off of it right now. You shouldn't put your money in and wait 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years to see a return. That's called speculation. If you're buying an asset at a low number, specifically expecting it to go to a high number, that's not an investment, that's a speculation. We don't use that term enough anymore, and we really should, because investment has become putting your money forth on anything, even if it produces no tangible return to you. That's not a good way to think about money. It's not a good way to think about investing. What I love about real estate the most, you get cash flow immediately. It pays its own bills and pays you something back. And that's spectacular. Really, most financial assets don't work that way anymore. Most large companies don't offer dividends anymore. Anything that you're going to get income out of usually has a long deferral period, like annuities have up to 10-year deferral periods on them. Most anything doesn't pay it money immediately. Because it's very hard to do that, real estate does it very easily. Number 4, tax benefits. You can write off every penny you spend on your property immediately against the property's income. And then you can write off 127.5 of your asset depreciable value against the actual asset. We've done over 4,000 of these over the last 10 years. And when it comes right down to it, even though there's a paper profit, there's a paper loss, right? Even though our clients are seeing income, more income, they're depreciating an asset. And the truth is, when it comes to depreciation, you can usually write off more in depreciation than you're actually earning in profit on a piece of leveraged real estate, specifically leveraged. And so the truth is, you get enormous tax benefits by owning a piece of real estate. And then after all the years are done, you've owned this property for years, it's worth $3 million, you've been living off the cash flows, you leveraged it to begin with, you only had to put in $40,000, and now you got this beautiful, enormous asset. At that point, you do pass away eventually, sorry, none of us get to take it with us, and real estate steps up in basis. Your heirs are going to inherit it, and they can sell it for appraised value at time of death. No taxes. So it's a tax-free inheritance to your heirs because of the deferred nature and the fact that it steps up in basis. That's an insane asset, and people just don't talk about it nearly enough. Number 5, it's proven. I was a financial advisor for just about a decade before starting Bedrock. And in that decade, I saw hundreds of millions of dollars in assets from clients from coast to coast. What was interesting is I would sit down with a client and say, what do you have going on in your retirement already, to see if anything can be optimized. And most of those clients, I would say 70% of those clients, their money was in real estate. I probably saw $200-300 million of assets in real estate that had been proven over time. The bigger thing that I don't even have to tell you is that's where people make their money. Real estate is the greatest wealth producing tool in the history of the world, period. There are flashes in the pan. There's the occasional Bitcoin or dry cleaning had a huge run there. And truth is, there's little things that come here and there. Silicon Valley, hey, stocks or medical stocks. There's these little flashes in the pan. But the thing that year after year after year has created millionaires from rags to riches is real estate. More than anything else. Game, set, match. I bet it's a factor of 10 to 1. Number 6, risk levels. The best financial assets ever have the ability to mitigate risks. The truth is, a high-risk asset should have a high return. A moderate risk asset, a moderate return, and a low-risk asset is going to have a low return. That's why you don't see CDs at the bank paying 15%. It just doesn't happen. What I love about real estate is you can get it to be a moderate low risk investment. But because you can leverage it, and also because real estate can do amazingly well when chosen properly, you can get a moderate to a moderate high return. So if you pick right, you can end up in a moderate to low risk with a moderate to high return. And that's unheard of. There's only 10 or 15 investments on the planet that mitigate risk that well. And real estate does it really, really easily because truthfully, you can invest in high risk real estate. You can go throw your money into a REIT that only invests in shopping malls. Best of luck with that. All right, you can invest in places that are losing anchor tenants left and right, and that their leases are renegotiating and having these huge, 2 million square foot floor plans that are vacant and they can't fill because there's just not anchor tenants that are growing properly in a space where e-commerce is such a monster. You can invest in high risk real estate. What Bedrock does is as low a risk as we can find. Single family residential, highest number of renters possible, highest number of dollars possible, but in a position that we can really mitigate those risks. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1980s or newer, 12 to 2,400 square feet. We want the lowest risk asset we can find that meets our metrics and our numbers and gives us a good high return. Again, 6 things that are the reasons why you should seriously consider real estate investing. Appreciation, leverage, cash flow, tax benefits, both expenses and deferrals and depreciation. It's a proven asset, and the risk levels have actually mitigated the risk beautifully in comparison to almost any other financial product out there. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me today. You have a beautiful day.